All right, here we go. Another episode of Sight Reading Maverick. I think this is now episode number 56-ish. I did do a couple on Facebook Live before I did it on YouTube, so that's why I say the ish at the end of 56. For those of you who might be new to the show, the program order and the links to the scores are underneath the video box, so you can follow along if you choose. Just try not to keep too much, I don't know how to say it. Don't keep a running list of all the notes that I leave out, because that list is going to get very long very quickly. But anyway, I see that Louis is here with us. Hello, Louis from France. I hope all is well there and that you're not getting as much rain as it seems that some of Europe is getting. And speaking of Louis, our first request is from him, and he requested some Schubert waltzes. So these are from his Opus 18, and I guess it's from a set of waltzes, Ländlers, and Ecossaisen, but he only requested some waltzes. So that's what we'll start with. As I'm glancing at this, I'm a little bit like, lots of chords. So this should be interesting, especially to warm up on. We'll see what happens. My other comment is just if you wish to leave feedback or have any questions, by all means leave them in the chat box over there, and I'll keep glancing over there. All right. The first waltz is in E major. I'm not going to do a lot of talking in between because he's requested like 7 of these. They're very short, so I'll probably just try to sort of scan them and then give them a go. Okay, we'll see what happens. Oh my goodness. Octaves too. What a way to start. Actually, before I start, I'm gonna look at the middle here. I see lots of accidentals. Looks like it's just because it goes into B minor. And F sharp minor. So maybe if I can tell myself that, then the accidentals won't be quite as daunting. Ignore that. All right. That was just too much jumping an octave up. That was not fun. Okay, but that was kind of cute. All right. Trying to get into waltz mode. I'm not feeling so graceful this morning. All right. B major is the next one. All these sharps today. We've got lots of double sharps. This one is only 3 lines, so that's nice. So let's see what happens with this one. Next one, A minor. This is number 3. Yeah, he requested this one. goes into A major. And it does end at the bottom of the page. I wasn't so sure of that, but it does. And we've got accents on the third beat, or accentuations. To repeat. Oh. I'm really improvising today. Okay, that was nice. This is good practice for octaves. Number 6, B minor. 4 lines, not too bad. Got a nice dotted rhythm in here. Easier to read too. I like that one. All right, number 8. That was a nice little respite, and now we go back into lots of flats this time. So we've got, yeah, it looks like we're in E flat minor. I can do E flat minor for 3 lines, right? Okay, I don't know. Is there anything unusual? We've got some double flats, of course. Whenever you have 6 flats, there's always going to be double flats. By a clef change in there. Okay, that was number 8. That wasn't so bad. Back to B minor, 2 lines, piece of cake. Oh my goodness, this looks much doable, more doable. actually very gorgeous. E major. And this one looks, again, a little bit more difficult. We've got octaves and bigger chords, and it's loud, and it should be really fun. At the end, though, it looks like it gets quiet. And lots of ledger lines, but it's all within that arpeggio. Okay, let's just see what happens. I was puzzled by this one chord. 1 second. Yeah, I think I did some wrong notes in there. But anyway, those are, it's interesting because I find it's actually kind of difficult to sight read waltzes elegantly because there's so much articulation, and a lot of times this left hand thing can be really tricky to pull off in a musical way when you're just reading. So that was a good challenge. So thank you, Louis, for those. All right. The next piece on the program is a little bit of an inside joke / challenge with a friend. And it is that apparently I'm just trying to find a good tempo for a Berceuse. So I'm going to read another one today to see if I can get it more Berceuse-y. So anyway, this is Josef Suk's Berceuse, Opus 33, number 1. He actually wrote a whole set of them, apparently. And this one intrigues me because it's in mixed meter, going back and forth between 5/4 and 3/4. So I was kind of curious about that. And I don't know Suk's writing very well. This is just 2 pages. It's F major. So I thought it would be doable. So we'll see how it goes. Andante sostenuto and sottovoce. There is a section in here. It says dolce e poco scherzando. So we'll see. I'll try not to go too wild in that section. Second page. It gets a little more complicated. We've got triplets in the left hand. So even more reason not to go too fast. And then 1. Okay, I don't know what to expect. Fastest note value, really, there's not that many of those 16ths or triplets. Um, I thought that was quite lovely. So I don't know, I'll be curious to hear what other people think of that. As I said, I don't think I've ever played any of his music before, so that should be good. So I'll be curious to see if that tempo was more acceptable as a lullaby. But I like that. I had to improvise a little bit on the rhythm because the meter, I think, kind of threw me off a little bit, and there were some odd notations. But that's my excuse. Anyway, Nick said that was too slow. Okay, well, that's obviously the person that I've been joking with. But anyway, not too slow. I thought that was lovely. So Richard's here. Hello, Richard. And Louis said, thank you for the waltzes, lots of Schubert spirit. Thank you. I thought it got better as I went through. I had to get in the groove of waltzes. All right, next on the program is Carlotta Ferrari's 5 Divertissements for upright piano, which I think is very interesting. I had read one of her pieces, Sirena, last week. She's Italian and she's alive and well. I believe she's an organ player. And Louis has requested 1, 3, and maybe 5. So we'll see how far we get here. They're very, very short. So the first one is called The Well-Tempered Gravitation. And this is very clearly a riff on the C major prelude from Book 1 of the Well-Tempered Clavier. So if you happen to be a fan of Book 1 Well-Tempered Clavier, I don't know, we'll see. This might. Sometimes these things can rub me the wrong way if I'm really used to the original. So we'll see what happens. C major, just like Bach's, but it definitely looks like it takes some different harmonic turns than Bach does. So let's see what happens. So this is all very chordal. I'll just be basically blocking this in my head, reading them as chords. Oh, well, that was, I think I'd be curious to note that had exactly the same measures, a number of measures as Bach's. I think it may. It had even that pedal G at the end. That was kind of a fun challenge for me in that I was looking ahead and seeing how well, I could predict the harmony that was coming up, since obviously it was different than what I'm normally used to. So, yeah, so that was kind of an interesting experiment. And I would be curious for people that are really good at theory to tell me if she had a method behind her madness in that. I don't know. Okay, the next one is called the Black Tarantella. I think it's called Black Tarantella because it is has all 5 flats in it. So let's see how it goes. It's very sparsely written, so I'm just going to go ahead and read it, although I see that there are lots of ledger lines, but it looks like it's just octaves in the left hand, so shouldn't be a problem. So let's do it at a nice clip. In 1. I even threw in a white key in there just for good measure, even though it was all supposed to be on the black keys clearly. But that's just no fun. All right, that was okay. I think I'm going to skip the last one. It's a fugue on the cabbage theme. But I think for the sake of time today, yes, I'm going to go ahead and keep reading. Let's see, Richard said, I think he's referring to the Suk. That was very cool. I'm getting the score to learn it. Good. I'm so glad. If even one person decides they like one of the pieces on one of these programs, that makes me really happy. All right, Louis, thank you for your requests. We're now going to move on. Oh, and I forgot to look up how to pronounce this composer's last name. Shoot. Well, I'm just not even going to say the last name. So this is a request of Nick's, and this is by Aleksandr, Gedike. I'm not even going to try it. These are his 10 miniatures in the form of etudes, his opus 8. And these definitely look different than my normal fare, so they should be fun. And I don't know how many of them I'm gonna read. They're pretty short, so let's just start reading them and see where we get to. Okay. The first one is in D major, and it shifts over to F major, and then back to D major. It looks a little bit tangly to me, so I'm kind of trying to quickly figure that out so it's not quite so bad. And actually, it's very repetitive, so I think I'm going to rely on that. And we've got a lot of 16th note little tangly things. Ooh, the second page. Yeah, that should be interesting. Because the left hand gets a little complicated. We have a Nocciolo at the end, then a Meno Mosso, so I can catch my breath there, and then Vivo at the end. Okay. Let me look at this hard section. I think we're going to do 1, 2. sweet. I loved that. I obviously started it a little slower than ultimately I wanted it, but I had to get my feet wet first before I was really convinced that I would be able to pull it off. So that was great. All right, number 2. Both hands are in treble clef. Looks like the left hand is going to cross over, at least for part of the time. Right hand has the accompaniment in this. So I really want to focus on this espressivo left hand that's indicated. The articulation in the right hand should be interesting. I'll have to try to figure out by ear kind of what I want to do with that once I start. Okay, D minor, no 16ths. So trying to find a tempo. There we go. 1, 2. Oh, I really, really liked that. I'm just kind of looking at notes. I'll talk at the end. I'll read them. All right, I want to keep reading on this. C major. Do I want to do this? It's veloce, really fast. Sure. It's very patterny. So that's what I'm going to go on. And in the right hand, a lot of times just one note will change. The first note of the pattern will change, but the rest stay the same. And then we've got a little dialogue between right hand and left hand, but it's all the same shape. So it's only fingering that might be an issue. And then we get tangly. Oh my goodness. Well, that looks fun. So we get lots of 16ths that are tangly in the right hand. I'll focus on reading the first note of each measure and then see what happens. Then it goes back to the opening stuff. Piece of cake. Let's try it at a little bit of a clip and just see what happens. I'm going to do it in 1. So 1, 1. Part of me wants to do that again. Oh my gosh, because that was a little bit crazy. But I don't know that it's going to get any better. So we're just going to leave it at that. All right, the next one is in C major 3/8, and it alternates. It goes through a couple different keys. We've got A minor, A major, who knows, back to A minor, A major. And this looks a little tricky, but maybe not so bad. It's pretty sparse, so that's good. All right. distracted because when I had to turn the pages, I decided to do the whole measure in one hand and then to go back to doing it correctly, doing the right hands, doing the right things. Yeah, that didn't happen. So that was kind of funny. Okay. I can't do all these. Okay, I'm going to skip to number 6 now. This is in E minor. Yes. And andantino con moto. All 8th notes, so it should be pretty straightforward. Right hand has the melody. Left hand has this nice 8th note line. So focus on the right hand. But there's also these, yeah, it looks really lovely. I'm looking forward to this. Okay. It says con modo, so I don't want to do it too slow. Okay. Just scanning ahead. I can't decide. There's so many of these. Okay, and I really do like them. I think I'm going to skip number 7 because it looks a little scary, and number 8. So let's go to the minuetto, which is, I'm looking at time. Oh my gosh, time is flying. Okay. I'm going to read the last one. I may regret that. I don't know why I just chose this one. Okay, Allegro agitato. It has syncopations. Okay, B minor. Bum, bum, bum. So I'm making sure that I hear them in my head before I start because otherwise I'm probably even more so doomed. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, 1. I should really look at the second page, shouldn't I? Nothing new. 1, 2. so I really like those. All of them, well, the ones that I read at least. So thanks for that request. Okay, what are people saying about the Tarantella? Richard said, it's a Tarantella, break out the cannolis. If you want to send along some cannolis, I am going to eat them. I love cannolis. And Leonard, you're here. Hello, Leonard. You're very welcome. I'm glad you're enjoying it. And Young Mi is here too. Thank you. All right. Next is another request of Nick's, and this is Aleksandr Glazunov's Prelude from his Opus 49. So this looks lovely. D flat major. The only thing that scares me is this bit at the bottom of the first page that goes into the second page. There's all these accidentals. So because I'm seeing all these accidentals, what I'm going to do is take a second and see if I can figure out. So he doesn't change the key signature, so that's probably why we've got all these accidentals. So if I can figure out what key we're in, looks like E major. Oh, but then it slips back. And then I have no idea. I am not good enough at theory to figure out what that is. But then we've got a A7 there. Wow. Okay. I'll have to hold on to my hats. In that first spot, at least I know it goes to E major. And then from there, I'll just think positive thoughts. Mostly quarter notes, but then in the return, it does add in eighth notes. So... that was beautiful. I got a little in trouble in the middle there, and I also found it was a little bit tricky to come up with a tempo I was happy with. But in general, yeah, I really loved that. So great request, Nick. Thank you. All right, I have 13 minutes left, and I think what I'm going to do now, last week I read through some of Ludwig Peterson-Berger's Frösöblomster, or Flowers from Frösö, and there was one that I accidentally left off. So I really want to read that one and make up for missing it last week. So this is To the Roses. This is from his book 1 of songs from Flowers from Frösö. So I'm going to read that one first, and then I'm going to read some from this third volume. So there's tons of these. They're all really beautiful. As someone mentioned last week, they're very much in the vein of Grieg's music, which I love. So this is a real treat. All right, To the Roses. Because we're at the end of the show, I'm going to go ahead and just pretty much read. I'll skim kind of quietly, maybe make a couple points, but not too many. A flat major, moderato, poco rubato. This looks very lyrical, which is right down my alley. So that melody, wow, gorgeous. So that helps me to choose a tempo. There is a repeat at the beginning, should I need it. One thing I'm noticing is that it's not indicated in the score very well when it's a triplet versus a duple. So I'm just going to need to visually be aware of that as I go. Oh, he's very sneaky because there's a couple times where he does beam 3 8th notes together in the left hand, but they are not triplets. So we'll see how I do with that. beautiful. Well worth going back and doing that one. So, wow, yeah. So that was called To the Roses, and that was from Peterson-Berger's first book of these pieces. I'm going to stop saying it because I don't think I'm saying it right. Okay, so now we're going to move on to book 3, and we're going to read through several of them. Young Me said, so beautiful, he could be a song composer. Maybe he was, I don't know. Yeah, beautiful stuff. And Jan, hello Jan, said Wilhelm is his name. To me, his music is Sweden. Yeah. All right. All right. I think I'm going to skip the first one because it just looks like a lot of octaves, and I'm not in the mood for octaves. So we're going to do the second one, and unfortunately, I don't have the translations of this volume, so I'm just going to read. Here we go. Quick scan. The trio at the end is in 5 flats, no problem. Got it. Looks like we've got a bugle at the beginning. This looks very Nordic. Okay. Off to the horse races. much fun. Okay, that was a fun challenge. And I do realize you're right, Jan. I'm so sorry. In the description of in my program, I said it was Ludwig. I don't know why. I don't know where that came from. But anyway, yes, it's Wilhelm Peterson-Berger. So I'm going to make sure I correct that when I go back at the end of the show. That was great fun. I liked that. All right. I'm now going to do...
I don't know that.
Oh my goodness, Siri is talking back to me. How rude. All right, I have 2 minutes. So I think I'm just going to end on a quieter note again and a more calm note. This is his last one. And again, I do not know what the translation of this. Oh, before I go on to that, Jan said that the translation of the previous one is Entering the Summer Meadow. Thank you. Yay. I'm so glad to have people watching the show who can help me with all this. All right. So, Jan, maybe you could tell us what this last one translates to. So you can fill us in at the end. So here's a nice E minor thing. Let's see how this is. So that's a nice reflective way to end this week's show. So I thought that was beautiful. I really love his music. So he has some other things on IMSLP. I may take a peek at them and see if I might include them in some of my other shows. But until then, Jan said that the translation of that is after several years. Sure. I mean, I think so many of these are just very reflective and that type of thing, reminiscent. So that would make a lot of sense, Jan. So thank you for piping in with that. Anyway, all right. So thank you to Louis and to Nick for your requests. As always, please feel free to send me requests throughout the week, and I will put them on next week's show as long as I think I can do them justice. If you're a composer and happen to have something, you can send that my way too. If I think I can read it okay, I will go ahead and throw that on the show. So thank you everyone for joining me today. It's been great to see you all, and I will look forward to seeing you next Sunday.